Hello and welcome. I'm Suzi Joy Lever, and I'm part of an amazing collaboration with Nikki Marianna, who I met through the Silver Tent. This is a showcase for the Silver Tent television. The Silver Tent is an organization for women over 50, showing what is possible when women, with all their wisdom and life experience, collaborate. Today, we are honouring Renata. It's been a great pleasure to get to know Renata, who lives in Spain, while we've been holding space for her for the last 3 months, helping her to embody breaking the silence. She's about to relaunch her book, Cheers, Breaking the Silence, One Voice at a Time. So to start the ceremony, Nikki Marianna will open sacred space. Then there'll be a silent reflection, followed by a bell, and then Renata will speak about her focus for the ceremony. Again, there will be a silent reflection afterwards, and the bell will then introduce Suzi and Nadia. Suzi is known as Suzanne Elizabeth Saunter Clark, and she's joining us from Oslo. And after the reflection afterwards, Nadia, who's known for True to Our Roots, Qigong. Then I will offer a short chant. I will sound this 3 times and then ask you to join in 6 times. Although you need to stay muted, because as you probably know, Zoom, because of the time delay, is quite a cacophony if we attempt to sing together. Although I won't hear you, we know that your focused intention and your energy will make a difference. Then Renata will respond to the proceedings. And then after, again, the silence, Nikki Marianna will close sacred space and the live will end. We recommend that you sit quietly and reflect and let the energy settle and drink a glass of water. So thank you so much for watching. And now over to Nikki Marianna.
I'll unmute myself and then you'll be able to hear me. So I'll be opening sacred space in the Peruvian way, with 1 or 2 slight alterations from Renata. And we begin in the south. To the winds of the south, great serpent, wrap your coils of light around us. Teach us to shed the past the way you shed your skin, to walk softly on the earth. Teach us the beauty way. To the winds of the west, Mother Jaguar, protect our medicine space. Teach us the way of peace, to live impeccably. Show us the way beyond death. To the winds of the north, hummingbird, grandmothers and grandfathers, ancient ones, come and join us. Whisper to us in the wind. We honor you who have come before us and you who will come after us. To the winds of the east, great eagle, condor, come to us from the place of the rising sun. Keep us under your wing. Show us the mountains we only dare to dream of. Teach us to fly, wing to wing, with great spirit. Mother Earth, we've gathered for the healing of all your children, all our relations who inhabit this planet, nature in all its many aspects, including the animal and plant kingdom. Father Sun, Grandmother Moon, the star nations, Great Spirit, you who are known by 1,000 names, and you who are the unnameable one, thank you for bringing us together and allowing us to sing the song of life another day. Just sit quietly for a moment.
Oh, it's my turn. It's Nikki is saying something, but I didn't hear what you were saying.
Before you say anything, can I just double check that we are streaming live?
Yeah.
Because at the moment, it's not appearing in the silver tent.
Okay.
I think it's nearly there now.
And it looks like Nadia saying that it's streaming.
Ah, fabulous.
It says was live with Renata breaking the silence. More pop up.
So I'm sorry, due to a technical hitch, we failed to bring you in with the opening sacred space and description of the itinerary for the ceremony. So as we're pressed for time, please excuse us, and we're just going to go with the flow. You are joining us, having created sacred space, and now Renata is about to introduce what she would like to say for her ceremony. Thank you. Go ahead, Renata.
Okay, well, you've now heard that my name is Renata, and I am grateful that you're here to witness my celebration ceremony. Well, I hope you're witnessing it. And I'm going a little bit with the flow because at first, initially, I actually thought this ceremony would be all about my revised edition of my book, Cheers. But during my sessions with Nikki, Marianna and Suzi Joy, it became clear to me this was actually about me stepping into my power as a woman and breaking my silence, so to speak. This is also the name of the celebration, breaking the silence. What it actually means is that I'm recognizing and that I'm proud of the fact that I am an internationally recognized, renowned artist, and that my books and art inspire and possibly even change others. Now, if you've met me in a group or you've seen me talk, you think, well, why does she have to say breaking the silence? She has no problem speaking. However, yeah, that is true. I'm okay in front of people, but when I'm in a place that I have to share my art, for example, on Instagram or Zoom, I suddenly become really aware, and there's a sort of to show that I do art classes, workshops, and that I have beautiful art and books. And I know where this comes from because my mother couldn't love me in the first few years of my life. I won't really go into that now. And my brother bullied me a lot. And also at primary, first 6 years, or 6 years there, I was heavily bullied. And I think those events subconsciously marked me anyway. But then I was also touched indecently, which I thought of the other day, by two men during my childhood. And my parents did say, oh, you don't have to be nice to these men anymore, but these were friends. But they didn't tell of those men. And I felt totally unseen, and I believe that's where it all came from. Now, with the COVID, things have also changed, because I was conducting art classes and I was doing all sorts of things, and that had to change. And now I have to work on making an online presence and helping people discover me, so to speak, because I like to be discovered. And after my sessions with Hope and Joy, and I really wanted to say that, I feel that I'm totally ready to step into my power and my future as a writer, as an artist, as a wife, and as a business entrepreneur, because that's what I am. Now, Breaking the Silence coincides with the launch of my book called Cheers, Breaking the Silence, One Voice at a Time. It's the second edition, actually. And it's a book with not just my story, but it also has the stories of other people that I interviewed, where partners, children, and friends of people with an alcohol problem, but also healthcare workers in the addiction field and alcoholics themselves, shared their profound stories in the hope that others will also find their voice and break their silence. And that Cheers, I know it's a book that can bring awareness and hope. Now, I myself have lived with a binge drinking alcoholic for 12 years, and I still have a passion to help others sharing my story. But this ceremony is also very much about me stepping into my strength as a woman, handling the challenges that come on my path with confidence, and believing that my art and books can actually make a positive difference in people's lives, whether that's through the energy of my art on somebody's wall, or book I've written, or an art class or workshop that I have conducted. And that's what we're celebrating here today. Now, that fear of rejection that has been part of me throughout my life, I don't know what happened these last few weeks with Nikki, Marianna, and Suzi, and I just have to look at them for a moment, even though I said I'm going to cover my screen. But things started shifting, and I've done things that I wouldn't have done before, and I'm totally really glad about that. And I feel that my strength is growing like big time, and that I'm overcoming that fear, and that I'm ready to take steps that I previously put off taking. So yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm saying. So welcome, I'm glad you're here.
So now I think Suzi will be sharing.
I will. Thank you so much. Renata van Nijen, as many of you already know, is a Dutch artist living and working in Spain. And we discussed the possibilities of exchanging services. And we agreed that in return for joining her Saturday art classes during lockdown, I would support Renata with editing her written work. This proved to be very beneficial for both of us, because Renata's unlocked the joy of painting for me in a whole new medium, which is acrylics. And my support has developed from editing her work to discussing the marketing of her books and her other art products. Her products are already featured on really prestigious international markets such as Saatchi and Saatchi, and they're now accessible to all of you through the Silver Tent and Synergy. We've created a business grid for action, which I discuss with Renata most Sunday evenings. My respect for Renata's creativity is profound. She's a creative multilinguist, a superb artist, and a natural entrepreneur. She's buzzing with ideas. And through reading her books and scripts, I've also learned quite a lot about her own history, occasionally very challenging, her health, her personal life, and her financial circumstances. And it's been my privilege to learn that. Renata, as you'll already have heard, is passionate about her book, Cheers, The Hidden Voices of Alcoholism, which was first published in 2011. And as she told you, it's an anthology of stories from people whose lives have been adversely affected by alcoholics, whether that was their mother, their husband, their brother, their sister, or their son. In fact, Cheers was used by the British government as evidence to get insight into its own alcohol policy in 2012, which is a remarkable achievement. The revised title for the new edition is Cheers, Breaking the Silence, One Voice at a Time, and it's due to be released any day now, so watch out for it. By pulling together these stories, not only of the actual alcoholic, because that's been done so many times before, but rather the people who've been directly affected by somebody else's addictions, she hopes that people like herself who have been the collateral victims of addiction will be heard, because they're often invisible. Their needs aren't widely acknowledged by or even funded by society. Their voices go unheard, and yet those are the voices that do deserve a hearing, just as Renata's does. She's also shortly going to be publishing a book about her life in Spain called Tapas of Tales, and believe me, it has some wonderfully sexy passages, not forgetting her gorgeous Spanish husband and his avocado farm, and even some really good recipes. I've called this dedication to Renata, I See a Voice, because many years ago I studied with a philosopher called Jonathan Ray, who had a book by that very name. And the discussions that I've been having with Renata about her wish to be heard reminded me of that time in my own life. I see her vibrant artwork. It comes from the heart and soul of her. She's now promoting her own paintings and writings and her art classes even more effectively than before. Her voice is an outward expression of her soul, and she's got a growing confidence to speak up for herself and still to challenge, but yet to be kind and to command the respect that she richly deserves. This ceremony, I hope, will raise up her profile on the online sisterhood that's Synergy and the Silver Tent. I feel confident that she will be seen and heard, despite Facebook algorithms, in a way that's comfortable for her, so that more of you and other people will find and enjoy her work. I believe that her energy and her passion will increasingly focus on her creativity, and she will attract good fortune, including her own space to make art and write and share inspiration with others with the generosity of spirit that is her hallmark. Thank you, Renata. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
And now, Nadia, would you like to share with us?
Thank you. So I'd like to thank you, Renata, for being my new friend. Since we both entered Silver Synergy and the Silver Tent shortly after lockdown, we have a kinship, as you are from Holland and multilingual, and I'm half Belgian and also speak different languages. I was in awe of how quickly you managed to get yourself noticed and have an interview with Siobhan about your art and your books, and it spurred me on. Renata, you are a talented author, an artist, but you're also very intuitive. Please, everyone, check out her Oracle Angel cards. I'm just going to show them. She did these, and the circumstances forced you to write the oracles yourself, and you channeled all that wisdom with your guides and angels. How awesome was that? I want to reassure you of your inner and outer beauty, that you are a vibrant, passionate, talented, and intuitive woman. You and your gifts are really precious to all of us, and you must try and see yourself through the eyes of those who love and admire you. I'm feeling emotional now. In the space of only a few months, you are already helping so many of our Silver Sisters and the public through and with your art. An important factor, you are helping others build on their self-esteem and self-worth. How precious is that? You're also teaching teenagers, and what a privilege it is for these young people to learn early on in life how to express themselves through color and by listening to their inner voice. You're helping them by increasing their intuitive perception and self-compassion, gifting them with a treasure which will help them through their adult lives. It's a real pleasure and privilege that you've wanted to learn from me as a spontaneous Qigong teacher, and that you continue to benefit from the trauma releasing exercises, surrendering to the deeply healing internal body movements spontaneous Qigong is guiding you with. It's very humbling for me to witness part of your self-realization journey unfold as your new friend. Thank you for your honesty and trust you have in me, and for sharing your present adventure with me. I, alongside all of our Silver Sisters, celebrate you and all your amazing gifts and talents. Thank you. I actually thought, because I had some time, and I thought I'd pick a card for you from your cards. And the card that came up, surprisingly, is a bell.
Bell.
Bell. And so bell encourages you to see beauty. The definition of beauty is a combination of qualities such as shape, color, or form that pleases the aesthetic senses, especially the sight. Finding and accepting your own beauty, but also the beauty in other people, in nature, and in what surrounds you is a blissful path to peace and happiness within. If you care to look for beauty, you will discover that it's everywhere. So I don't know how much time I have, but you know, Renata, okay, that there is more to this, okay? So it was completely apt. So
Wow.
because you are Belle. Thank you.
So now I'd like to share a chant as I reach for my water. And for the Facebook Live people who didn't hear my introduction, I will be chanting 3 times, and then I ask you to join in 6 times. But you do need to stay muted. As you know, Zoom has a time delay, which makes it a cacophony rather than a beautiful harmony. But even though we can't hear you, your focused intention and your energy will make a difference. So it's very simple, but you'll hear me do it 3 times before you join in. Now's the time to break Renata's silence. Let her power be welcomed in the world. Now's the time to break Renata's silence. Let her power be welcomed in the world. Now's the time to break Renata's silence. Let her power be welcomed in the world. And then if you join in. Now's the time to break Renata's silence. Let her power be welcomed in the world. Now's the time to break Renata's silence. Let her power be welcomed in the world. Now's the time to break Renata's silence. Let her power be welcomed in the world. Now's the time to break Renata's silence. Let her power be welcomed in the world. Now's the time to break Renata's silence. Let her power be welcomed in the world. Now's the time to break Renata's silence. Let her power be welcomed in the world.
It's me again, isn't it? Suzi, can you confirm? Yeah. This is now just a spontaneous reaction. First of all, which people might not know, we're wearing orange because, and I want to explain that because Nikki, Marianna and Suzi Joy asked me in the beginning of my sessions a few months ago what my favorite color was. Now, I always mostly wear black. I don't have many orange clothes, but my favorite color is orangey golden, really. And all my paintings, you can see I just love it. I love that color. For the occasion, I'm wearing an orange mandala that I made. I've got some orange flowers in my hair and a top that isn't orange, but it looks orange. I'm saying this because I'm not so good in wearing color. So that's a little bit different as well. But this is also why Nadia and Suzi, who, to be honest, they have become both very dear friends to me. We've never met in person. We've only met digitally. And you're both so special in your own right. And I'm a little bit emotional when I say that, because you are, because Nadia's helping me a lot to go more in my physical kind of well-being, maybe I can put it that way. And Suzi is all about my mental and trust in myself and just being who I should be. And I do feel I have a lot to share. And I have been feeling very frustrating a lot that I felt so unseen, and little things even happen that makes you think, it's happening again. But now I feel confident. I'm breaking this. And these past few weeks, already things have happened. And I've stepped into my power. I've done things that I would normally be totally scared of. I don't know if I have time to even mention that, but I picked up some paintings that were in a very luxurious wine bar where I live. And they were expensive paintings. And the agreement was that they would have been insured. And I found out they weren't. And I went there and I just took them out, and I would never have done that before. This is just one little example, but I'm doing lots of little things. And I do feel that what I'm doing with Nikki and Marianna have done, and this is sort of, will top it up and hope, because even my grumpy grandfather also came to the rescue. We found out, which was interesting, because Nikki Marianna said, do you know a man? I think he has clogs and a cap. I don't remember exactly how you said it, Nikki Marianna, but and then I said, well, I'm not sure, maybe my grandpa. And then I think you said he has a cow with him. And there's actually a photo here in one space in the house of my grumpy grandfather, who was actually also really funny, good sense of humor. And I think I have to stop now, but thank you so much, Nikki, Marianna, Suzi Joy, Nadia, and Suzi Cloud. I'm so grateful for you all for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, and I love you all.
Thank you, Renata. That was beautiful. So we are running late, but it has been worth it. It's been a very emotional, very beautiful sharing and celebration ceremony. So I am going to close sacred space very simply and give thanks for their presence. I think we've done everything else, haven't we? Okay. Thank you to the winds of the south for being present here with us today. And now release you to stay or go, whatever is for our highest good at this time. Thank you for the winds of the west for being here with us today. And now release you to stay or go, whatever is for our highest good at this time. Thank you to the winds of the north for being here with us today. I now release you to stay or go, whatever is for our highest good at this time. Thank you to the winds of the east for being here with us today. I now release you to stay or go, whatever is for our highest good at this time. Thank you to the energies of Mother Earth for being here with us today. I now release you to stay or go, whatever is for our highest good at this time. And please remind us to keep grounded. Thank you to the energies of Father, Son, and the sky beings for being here with us today. I now release you to stay or go, whatever is for our highest good at this time. And now I would simply ask you all to leave the room, carry this energy with you, and when you need to, please look back at this recording. Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much.
So before you watch the second ceremony with Debs, I'd just like to remind you, this is all part of the Silver Tent Network.
It has been an amazing experience and lovely to get to know Debs. You'll notice that our backgrounds, Suzi, Joy's and mine, have changed considerably. This is to represent and resonate with the energies and the beliefs of, first of all, Renata, which was very much an orange, and now Debs, which is shells, peacock colours, and she'll tell you much more about that in her ceremony. Hello, welcome to this unique experience of a Hope and Joy celebration ceremony on Facebook Live. Renaissance of the Word. As Hope and Joy, Suzi, Joy and myself have over the last 3 months and still are privileged to hold space for Debs de Vries while she embodies a higher level of her soul service, enabling her to birth her new work. Debs has taken on the mantle of a new mission, which is fully called the Renaissance of the Mastery of the Sacred Word. Her service is to midlife entrepreneurial, artistic, and soul-led women who feel called to step up into their power now. She will be teaching ancient and contemporary, alchemical and practical processes, empowering her students to quickly receive and embody the next level of their soul's expression and calling. Her students will learn how to create consistent, sustainable energy, ride the changes of energetic initiations and upgrades, and receive insights and information from the universe. They will be able to holistically support the evolution of our world while co-creating their own desires, becoming leaders filled with peaceful power, living with joy, faith, and deep fulfillment, and creating a positive imprint on the web of life. Effectively, a roadmap for others to follow to the light. So I will begin the ceremony by calling in the 4 directions. Then Debs will intuitively bring in the energies that wish to be here with us and speak about her focus for the celebration. Her 2 supporters, witnesses, and soul sisters will share. First, Tracy Sacladi, followed by Emma Kennedy and the sounds of her Venus gong. Next, Suzi Joy will lead us in a short chant, toning it 3 times and inviting us to join 6 times. We will be on mute as Zoom plays havoc with the sound when toning. Although unheard, our energy, intent, and focus will be felt. Debs will respond and then release the energy she called in for her ceremony. Finally, I will release the 4 directions. We recommend you sit quietly after Deb's celebration and drink a glass of water. We will pause for silent reflection after each person has spoken. Thank you for joining us. Now, I will call in the 4 directions. Calling in the energies of the north to be present with us here in this circle for Deb's celebration. Calling in the energies of the east to be present with us here for Deb's celebration. Calling in the energies of the south to be present here with us for Deb's celebration. Calling in the energies of the west to be here with us now for Deb's celebration. And we'll have a few moments silence just to adjust to those energies. Debs, would you like to come in at this point?
Thank you, Nikki, Marianna. I'd love to. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge all of you here present for creating this beautiful, magical, sacred space, and to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'd like to call in the energies of my female line specifically, all of my ancestors, but particularly honoring the feminine. I'd like to call in those from the Diamond Pyramid of Light held by Alexis Cartwright as Transference Healing, who have helped me to develop to the extent that I can and willingly do accept this work. Metatron, Melchizedek, Enoch, powerful beings, thank you for all you've done for me. I call in Lady Nada, Lady Master, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, beloved gracious beings, I feel your presence. And I call to the energy of the Cosmic Empress, who has made herself known to me and who channels this work through me. And I call to the animal, magical, and mythical kingdom without whose support I could not be here, could not be speaking. And specifically the energies of hare, falcon, that have come through for me today. Just a word about the nature of this celebration and my perspective. A year ago, Spirit said to me, we'd like you to create a temple of Shiva. So I wrote it down and promptly forgot it. In the ensuing year, I became aware of new ideas, as we all do, new thoughts, new ways of slotting things together. And I became very powerfully aware that as we're all now in the process of co-creating a new age, what tools could I bring to that process? What imprints could I bring? And where specifically could women lead that way? I don't mean lead in the old patriarchal way. I mean in the way of the spiral. So the shell has been it's both a container and a symbol for me. I dreamt 30 years ago that my mother had left me a shell. It was on the beam above the front door outside. And although she'd passed on, she sent me back to the house to collect this shell. It represents our DNA. It represents the eternal golden spiral of life. It represents how we both break through limitations and see things differently, and how we create a sacred container. So my desire for this celebration, my view of it, is that it is a celebration. It's to mark the physicalization, the giving form to a specific body as we are all birthed through the water. This body of work has a specific body, and I am part of that. The celebration is not only marking it, but make it visible. And I would just say briefly that having done work on my own and birthed it on my own before, I can tell you how very different and how much easier this feels to have it witnessed, and it deserves to be witnessed. So that's it for me. I'll just leave you with one more item, this cosmic empress energy, about which I seem to know a lot but have no actual sort of book learning about, presented herself through the being of peacock, which is a cosmic energy that we talk about in transference healing. And just one odd little thing that you might enjoy. I'm wearing peacock feather earrings. I ordered them quite randomly from a little shop on eBay. And when they came from a shop called the Bluebell. And you have to smile, because my mother's middle name was Bluebell and she hated it. She wouldn't tell anybody. So for women, for men, for families, for tribes, for communities, for the world, I go forward with this strength and this courage that comes from your all being here. So be it.
Tracy, would you like to speak now?
Yes, I would love to speak now. I've made some notes because I didn't want to miss anything out. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about my story and how I've met Beautiful Debs. So I first met with Beautiful Debs DeVries at the Transference Healing event. You'll remember it well, Debs. The second she stood up to speak in her gorgeous red leather dress, I'll never forget it. I knew I had a connection with her, or I knew I wanted one. I was just drawn to her straight away. Her quirky uniqueness and radiant, scrumptious, and the only way I can describe her energy, is contagious. I soon filled in her form and had my first chat with Debs. The rest is history, as they say, but I'm going to go into a little bit about my journey so you can know what a wonder Debs is. So I was feeling like I'd lost myself. I have an amazing husband, 2 wonderful teenage girls, and I knew my life was blessed, had great friends, had a lovely little business, but I just felt unfulfilled somehow, and I felt guilty about it, so I wasn't doing anything about it. I realised I'd lost my sense of self. I realise that now after working with Debs, as I didn't know what my role was as my children were growing older, and I was struggling to motivate myself and see my path ahead. I knew I had more to give. And after my first video call with Debs, I could tell immediately she understood. There was no judgment. She knew that there was more to birth in me. She knew I had more to give to the world. It was at that time I just knew it was time to invest in myself. And she gave me the courage to do that, because without meeting you, Debs, and without having that initial chat, I never would have had that courage to invest in myself and become the person that I am now, which is following in Debs' gorgeous footsteps and supporting others. Debs has this amazing way of leading and teaching that enabled me to be guided and learn the lessons myself somehow rather than being taught, which is actually something that I'm still very, very much focusing on myself. I would like to be able to do that, but somehow, Debs, you led me. You never told me, you just led me, and I learned those lessons myself. So by the end of our time together, I felt truly transformed. I have a new sense of self. I have a clear direction in life. I've retrained as a transference healer. I now have just launched a business, Feather and Stone Healing, to support other people. Honestly, true transformation. I have new tools to deal with life's challenges. And, you know, this all started with and has developed through my continual friendship with Debs. I'm able to work on my own personal development and use my own intuition now. So working with Debs has given me a clear vision in all areas of my life. My sense of self, my health, my family, and my business. Oh no, I will always be so truly grateful to Debs that we met. You are an absolutely wonderful woman, and you gave me the courage to go on this journey. And I'm so grateful for myself for, you know, embracing that and going on this journey with Debs. So Debs is one of a kind. She's full of knowledge and wisdom and an infectious zest for life, as you can see today, that just exudes out of you. It's difficult to explain how she does it. You'd have to work with her to see, but I would describe you as miraculous, Debs. So since then, that was about a year ago, or maybe even over that, yeah, a year and a half ago even maybe. Since then, my friendship with Debs has blossomed into a truly beautiful gift that I am forever grateful for. I am astounded and so thankful that such a truly unique, wonderful and extraordinary soul is in my life as a friend, mentor and beloved soul family, soul sister. You never fail to amaze me, Debs, and I literally could sit and listen to you all day. When our time's up, when we have to leave, I'm like, oh no, I want to hear more. She just exudes wisdom. I could sit and listen to you forever without tiring. Magic wisdom, love and light radiate from you. You're truly one of life's treats for whoever is lucky enough to spend any time with you. And I am forever grateful that I'm in that very fortunate group of people that get to spend beautiful time with you. I love you and I wish you all the very, very best birthing this new project. It's going to be amazing. You will continue to transform people's lives like you have mine. So thank you so much.
So now I'm going to hand over to you, Emma, please.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm just so deeply honoured and invited to be able to hold space and be a ceremony for Deb's celebration. As I watch her just flower into herself. Debs and I go back a long way. We met on a yoga teacher training course many, many years ago. And our friendship, to me, we're talking about the spiral and the shell. Our friendship has just spiraled and spiraled. We've shared so much, and I'm just deeply honoured and love Debs for all that she is. We've laughed, we've danced, we've cried, we've shared ceremony. She was at the birth of she doulaed for me at the birth of my third child. And she exudes this zest, like I say, zest for life and a passion for what is true and right. And as we've moved and spiraled through, we've shared on such a deep, deep level as soul sisters. And like that connection, again, in the yoga course, it was instant connection, and we've just grown with that. And we've shared truth, and we've moved through our own illusions back to truth. So this spiraling energy just represents our whole friendship. And what I love about Debs is she's so practically grounded and energetically connected with the goddess, with the earth energy. Yet she connects into the higher frequencies, and she's honest, she's truthful, but she never lets me off the hook. And I really respect and admire her for that. And she's helped me to grow and continues to help me to grow into the fullness of myself. And in that, I've also witnessed Deb's and her journey and her spiral, and I watch her. She always evolves humbly and graciously into a more evolved and conscious, always evolving into her own bigger consciousness, awareness, wiser woman. And like I said, she's so deeply connected with the earth. And I see her as a living goddess of light. She really connects so deeply to the earth, to the cosmos, and her wisdoms and teachings come from such a pure, connected place. And as I've known Debs for so many years through all aspects of her career and her teachings, what I know about Debs is her sacred gift is the word, her word, and her energetic delivery of word, of how she inspires others. And she's always coming from a place where she inspires others to grow. And she actually held naming ceremony for my children, and again just connects him to such a pure place. It's so beautiful. So yeah, I can just wish her every possibility. And I just, for me, this spiral, I've come to my own understanding of this spiraling energy. And as we move through directions, we come back in the spiral to the self, and it's like from awareness to synchronicity to flow to spirit, back to totality of self. And I've watched Debs just spiral and spiral, and it just feels at this point, in this center point of the vortex and energy of connection with heaven and earth, she's just at this point leapfrogging into the next sacred part of her life, delivering the renaissance of the word. And I wish her every joy and success with that. I'm not going to say any more. I'm just going to connect in now with the gongs, and I'm going to start, I'm just going to blow the conch. I'm just going to show you the spiraling energy that Deb's talked about. I need to see that. So I'm going to honor the renaissance of the word through the spiral of the shell. And then I'm going to play the Venus gong, which I think will just connect in with the love that Debs is, the love that we all are. But the sun gong in the back feels like it wants to come in to represent the shining light of who she is and who we can all grow into our own pure shining light. So I'm going to be quiet now.
So I'm just going to tone the sentence renaissance of the word, and I'll do that 3 times, and then ask you to join in with me 6 times. But please stay muted, including you, Emma, because of the cacophony that the Zoom time delays creates. Thank you. Renaissance of the word. 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 Renaissance of the word.
I think it's for me to respond now.
Yes, it is indeed, Debs.
I'm formulating a response. It's just this, love. We are creatures of love. We have the tools for peace, love, joy, harmony, all of the Christ consciousness available to us. And my response is to play my part in connecting whoever comes to me with that. My response is to look at today, to model such as we're involved in, the women that you are, and ask if we can do this, more can do this. My response is to share what we are unashamedly. Whether people want it or they don't want it, it's not our business. Our business is just to imprint our souls on the sacred fabric of life. I couldn't be more overjoyed, more loved, more honoured, more humbled than to be here now and to have heard your words, Emma and Tracy, or to be held in this beautiful space with all the effort that's gone into it. It's probably hard to understand why 3 months has elapsed since we began, but Nikki, Marianna and Suzi Joy have taken it step by step to bring it from conception to manifestation. My response is pure love. My response is pure gratitude. I now release the energies that I called in, those from the animal, magical, mythical kingdoms. Lady Mary Magdalene, Lady Nada, Master Mother Mary, Lord Metatron, Lord Enoch, Lord Melchizedek, and with a special love and thanks to my lineage, especially those women from my lineage who've been present. We did it, girls. We birthed this baby. I release you, I release you, I release you. So be it, and so it is. Amen.
So now I will release the directions that I called in originally, and then ask you, please, just to sit quietly, have a glass of water, and just let the energies settle. And it's been an amazing celebration ceremony. Thank you. I release the energies of the north. And thank you for being with us, holding space with us. Now release you to stay or go, whatever is for our highest good at this time. Now release the energies of the east to stay or go, whatever is for our highest good at this time. And now release the energies of the south to stay or go, whatever is for our highest good at this time. And now release the energies of the west to stay or go, whatever is for our highest good at this time. And I thank all those involved in preparing for and creating this celebration ceremony. Thank you.